Hey, you're here with Mr. Elting, and we're going to learn something new today. This is like Algebra 2, and you're getting a sneak peek in Algebra 1. You may have seen this button on your calculator before, and you probably wondered, what in the world, log? Does that like save things in my calculator? This actually is short for logarithm. And a logarithm is a math function that has something to do with exponents. And of course, you remember what exponents do. If I were to give you a simple exponent like 2 to the third power, what is 2 to the third power equal to? As you know, 2 to the third doesn't mean 2 times 3, but 2 times itself 3 times. And so 2 times 2 times 2, which there's 3 2's, is equal to 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 is 8. And what you've probably wondered before is, what if you have some number, unknown number, like, I don't know, 95. And you want to know, man, how many times can you, what exponent would you need to take, I don't know, maybe 3 to get to 95? How many times would you have to multiply 3 by itself to give you 95? And of course, the natural way of approaching this is just to, sort of do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 until you get there. And then, after you've passed 95, you know that, well, it has to be that number before plus maybe, some kind of fraction. And so it can be tough to do it that way. And there's an easier way to do that. And that's where logarithms come in. And a logarithm is just basically another notation to write exponents. If I wanted to rewrite our original exponent that we had before, 2 to the third power is equal to 8, with logarithms, what I would say is, number one, you start with your base. I have a base of 2. Remember, this is base, and 3 is your exponent. Well, the exponent is always equal to the logarithm of your base of a certain number that is equal to the exponent. If you were to do log base 2 of 8, you would get 3. And in fact, you can try this in your calculator if you do it really quick. Maybe type it into Google. Do me a favor, type in log, and you might see some way to type in a base. Type in log base 2 of 8. You might be able to figure that out. If you do that successfully, you will get, the calculator will punch out 3 for you, which is pretty cool. So what the heck is that useful for? Well, what if you had this situation right here? What if I wanted to know 5 to the what power is equal to 125? Again, guessing and checking is fine, but with a logarithm, we take the log of the base. What's our base here in this problem? You should say 5. And then this is the tricky part. What goes where here? Well, the exponent always goes alone, and that leaves whatever your problem was equal to in the first place. So if you go ahead and type in log base 5 of 125 into a calculator, you will figure out what x is. And in this case, x happens to be 3. If you do 5 times 5 times 5 3 times, you will get 125. So that's all a bit confusing. Let's see if you remember exactly what we were talking about. Let's see if you can walk me through a couple, if you will. Let's say I want to rewrite this guy right here in logarithmic form. So I just have a simple exponent like 4 to the third power is equal to 64. Can you rewrite that in logarithmic notation? I'll give you a hint. It starts with log base something equals something. Can you figure out what the 3 numbers go? If you did that one correctly, you should have log base, and again, base is the same as the base of your exponent. It's log base 4, not of your exponent. Log base 4, your exponent always goes over here, which leaves log base 4 of 64 is equal to 3. If you type that in a calculator, that will confirm that. Let's see if you can actually solve a more complicated problem using your logarithms. And in this case, this is actually going to be a decimal, and that's okay. But I want to see if you just can't even figure it out. If you know what? I want to take 3 to what power to give me a number like 75? 3 to what power would give me 75? Well, again, you're going to have to rewrite this as a logarithm before you can do that. So again, my question to you is log base what of what is equal to what? So go ahead and see if you can't do that for me. Fill in these numbers. Again, if you did it right, log base, again, base goes with your exponent, log base 3 of this number, 75, is equal to x, your exponent. Your exponent always goes on that other side. So if you have a calculator, I encourage you to see if you can't plug in log base 3 of 75 and see what you get. If you do that, and then you take that number, whatever you get for x, and you plug that back in to your exponent, you should end up with 3 to that power. Type it in, you should get 75, which is really, really cool. That's what a logarithm is. There's a lot of different uses for logarithms aside from that, but this is just the basic definition of a logarithm. I want you to see if you can't do some practice on this online, and make sure you raise your hand and ask for some help if you need it. Thanks, guys.